Traders, what's happening, guys? I've been so busy with non-trading stuff today, but I wanted to get you guys an update on. Let's run through these markets quickly. This is how I used to call my institutional book, and we'll still do, but this was an everyday thing for me. I'd call them, talk about some of the most important markets, big picture global macro markets, gold, the dollar, treasuries, S&Ps, and these guys only have 30 seconds to chat. They're busy and they're managing risks. They have trades on. They just don't like to be on the phone. They're busy, so I would go through this pretty quick with them, and I'll try to kind of do the same thing here across the different coins that we're involved in and the ones that we're looking into. So um, so here we go. Bitcoin. All right. This is a typical pullback, guys, after a run like this. Now, I don't have time to do a lot of teaching, but this move from here to here, that's a pretty straight move up. And for those of you guys that are on the full access team that I've taught you the model, you know what that is. That's a BCI. That's a bearish candle ignored. It tends to mark the middle of the move, and that's basically what you have. But when you get a vertical move like that, especially after this candle, you need to expect some pullback. So if you're chasing long up here, you're just totally off sides. That's not where you want to be buying. This was an area to take some profit if you bought well down here with us, okay? But now, about halfway up this wall, this is a good spot for the market to hold. So if we're going to continue in this direction, we should see a higher low somewhere in this area. All right, so it's not a bad place to buy back some Bitcoin if you miss this move. We added to our Ethereum position, which is trading very much, it trades very similar to Bitcoin as far as directionally goes. The daily cycle's high. That would be the one thing I'm not really fond of as far as intermediate term swing trades. The cycle was much better down here, and then you got the 4-day rally. So we may have to be a little bit patient. We'll see how it trades over the weekend. It might be a better opportunity, or we might have some more momentum next week as far as just looking at that daily cycle. We go to a 4-hour, and you can kind of see more of the same. So we're holding the bands here. That's good to see. You can see, guys, here you see how the bands are laying right on top of each other, and then they fan out. Okay, that's a nice visual of this intermediate term move down. And now that we regain the bands, it's more of a positive structure here. So this 4-hour cycle is low. We need to be aware of that, and you're back at some over. So here you're overbought. You don't need an RSI to tell you that. Now you're getting back to levels where it makes more sense to buy back in. You don't want to be chasing the move up here, and then you're long here, and now you're out of the money. You're feeling pain here. It's the complete opposite of what you want to be doing. Okay, that's Bitcoin. We look at Ethereum. Start with the daily. Nice move up. Again, cryptos, you're going to get a lot of volatility. You're going to have pullbacks that are deeper than a 50% retrace. That's essentially what you got from 400 back here to 120. That's more than a 50% retrace if you look off basically where you broke out here from around par or 100. Now this is a little bit, gives me a little bit of pause here. When we bottomed and then we went into this little wedge, remember I said you can look at all these highs, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. They're all right around this 240 area, and it couldn't pop its head above here. So now we may be retesting these lows, which is okay. We will be buyers back here, even buyers all the way back to here. But you can be patient now. You see the daily cycle's high here as well, so there's room to kind of fall back here. So I'm gonna be patiently. I did add a little bit today, but I think we can probably get some better prices. Now, if we had put in a bullish candle here like this, guys, then I would have doubled our position. Double your position, and my guys know, boom, stop under the low. Double your position long. That brings up your average cost close to the market. Stop underneath the low. Nice tight risk. You know where you're wrong. That's a great way to play it. So I had mentioned that. That's kind of what I was looking to see happen. You didn't get it. So no need to get aggressive now. We wait for lower prices. Okay, and then lastly, I'll just do I'll do Litecoin, and then I'll save this video and do some of the altcoins for everybody. All right, so this is still, Litecoin's been in a solid, what we call a power uptrend. You have a rising 200, you have a rising pi, you have the bands are all positive, nice positive wave formation, and the market's just making higher lows. This is what an uptrend does. This is what an uptrend looks like. Very, very technical, and a technical definition of an uptrend. Higher lows, higher highs. All right, so there's absolutely nothing bearish here, still long-term bullish. Again, you have a cycle that's high, and there's been a good rhythm here. Look at this cycle and this rhythm. Up cycle, boom, down cycle, up cycle, down cycle, up cycle. That's good stuff right there. So anyway, our call was that you can hold the bands here. That's where you wanted to be a buyer. And then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 count. I talk about the pi cycle, and 8.6 is a derivative of pi, but that this 8.6 frequency not only is the long-term, guys, global business cycle 8.6. I've written about that extensively on the blogs. I did an institutional report on that, the history of the global business cycle. It's an 8.6 year frequency. The last top was 2015. All right, before that was 2007, before the whole downturn, the financial collapse. But there's different markets that peak with that cycle. I'm not going to get into that, but that rhythm, that frequency exists on all time frames. And so on the daily level, you just had one right there. From a cycle low, 8.6 count, boom, that brought you to a cycle high. And now, again, we can see this roll over. And with Litecoin, what we got to be worried about is this higher low now. If this higher low gets taken out, then you can drop back into, believe it or not, back here towards 20. That's just what our model calls for. I've studied that. We call that that's the Jenkins 200 rule or pi rule. That's just a high probability of a deeper pullback if this, what we call TMS, breaks in our model. So anyway, guys, until that breaks, though, everything's still bullish. If and when this does break, you got to play defense. So what that looks like, maybe cutting your risk, meaning stopping out on half of your long or 80% of your long and going to the sidelines. Or, which is nice, which is great news, I'm sure some of you guys seen the last couple of days, this firm called Ledger X got the go-ahead from CFTC to start trading futures and options, and I believe swaps on digital currency. So this is a type of scenario like on Litecoin. You break that $35 level, that would be a great place to buy puts. So I look forward to teaching a lot of you guys how to hedge this stuff. Obviously, we'll be hedging our positions that way. There's ways you can buy puts. You can sell calls up here to pay for your puts. Lots of nice things you can do on options around your positions. And then, I've done a whole options course at the site, JenkinsRM.com, under services. But I teach my traders a lot of these strategies. And so it's nice. We'll be able to apply these to the digital space, and that's just another sign, guys, of the markets developing. It's moving towards the institutionalized style of markets. That's going to bring in a ton more capital. It's going to make the markets deeper, more liquidity. You can go both ways. It's going to make all the things that for trading that you want to have. It's going to make it much better. So that's just another step towards these markets developing, which is great. So they're maturing. So anyway, guys, that's the majors. I'll hit you guys up on some of these altcoins also. So I hope that helps. And stay tuned here. You know, we're going to be putting more out the blog, JenkinsRM.com. You guys can follow me on Twitter. It's at the Jason Jenkins, at the Jason Jenkins. And then some of you guys know there's a chat room on our site too. You can come into our chat room. It's no cost, and you know, be part of the community. So look forward to that. All right, guys, have a great evening.